Ladies and gentlemen, gather round and let me tell you about the heart-wrenching mistakes you're making that are breaking your dog's heart, and you don't even know it. Every time you leave your home, your poor pup might be spiraling into anxiety and confusion, thinking you're doing everything right. In this hilarious expose, we'll dive into 12 ways you might be stealthily sabotaging your dog's emotional well-being. Mistake number 4, it's so common even your grandma does it daily without a clue that it's wreaking havoc. Stick with me till the end, because even your dog's "oh no, not this again" morning routine might be the worst part of their day. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. Alright folks, let's talk about the real drama in our lives, the kind that can give Shakespeare a run for his money. Saying goodbye to our dogs. You know what I'm talking about, right? You're about to leave the house. You catch a glimpse of your dog's eyes, and suddenly your heartstrings are playing the saddest violin solo ever composed. You find yourself petting them like you're in a soap opera, whispering sweet nothings, double-checking the water bowl, setting down a toy like it's a parting gift. And just when you think it's over, you make a U-turn at the door for one last hug. It's like the end of a rom-com. But guess what? Turns out this Hollywood farewell isn't as heartwarming as we think. According to the good old American Veterinary Association, all this drama flips the switch on your dog's panic mode. That little furball's thinking, oh, if my human is this worked up, something must be wrong. Talk about a plot twist. There's even a study by Dr. Karen Overall. Sounds serious, right? That shows dogs who get the full emotional send-off can have stress levels in their saliva spike by 300%. 300%. That's like me after 3 double espressos. The more love you shower, the more anxiety spirals up. And the worst part? This is an everyday soap opera. While we think we're given a daily dose of love for our dogs, it's a daily drama worth a Golden Globe. So here's the fix. Make your exit as boring as possible. No goodbye hugs, no lingering looks, no red carpet goodbyes. Just walk out like you're heading to the fridge. Dog trainers call this functional detachment. Sounds fancy, huh? It's just a way to teach your dog to chill when you leave. Yeah, it'll feel strange at first, but in just a couple of weeks, this simple switch can help your pup relax. And hey, if you miss your pooch's love, leave your t-shirt on their bed. Your scent will keep them comfy without the melodrama. So folks, let's turn down the drama and leave our dogs living in peace. After all, the only soap opera they need to watch is when they catch you doing the dishes. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about a classic blunder that many dog owners make. Mistake number 11, the bottomless bowl of dog chow. You know the drill. You're heading out, and just to be safe, you dump a mountain of kibble into your dog's bowl, thinking, bon appetit, Fido. Eat whenever you please. No starving on my watch. But here's the twist, folks. Dogs are not people. They have no concept of portion control. I mean, if my dog had a credit card, the only thing limiting his purchases would be when he accidentally eats the card itself. According to Dr. L. David Meck, a wolf behavior expert, yes, that's an actual job title, dogs' ancestors would wolf down their entire catch because who knew when the next meal ticket was coming? So when you leave a full bowl, your dog thinks feast time and devours it all at once. Result? Overeating, barfing, belly bloat. Your dog becomes a furry, ticking time bomb of gastrointestinal mayhem. So how do you avoid this canine culinary catastrophe? Make mealtime an adventure. Turn it into a fun game. Use puzzle bowls or treat dispensing toys. Hide little portions around the house. under the mat, behind the door, inside a box. It's like Easter every day, but without the creepy bunny. With this approach, you hit a triple whammy. Your dog doesn't overeat, their brain shifts to detective mode instead of anxiety mode, and they get entertained while you're away. When food turns into a hunt rather than a stomach's worst nightmare, your pup becomes the Zen master of the backyard. Calm, happy, and balanced, just like a doggy monk. Mistake number 10, morning chaos. All right, folks, let's talk about mornings, shall we? You know how it goes. The alarm goes off, and what do? Hit snooze again and again, like it's some kind of Olympic sport, and then bam. You're up stumbling around like a zombie, washing your face in record time, chugging coffee like it's an emergency, and giving your dog a goodbye kiss that's so fast even Speedy Gonzales would be impressed. Sound familiar? Yup, that's my AM routine in a nutshell. But for your dog, it's like starring in its own personal horror film titled Mornings of Mayhem. Apparently science has weighed in on this too. Yep. Some brainiacs over at the University of California, Davis, have proven that our morning madness sends our dogs' stress hormones skyrocketing. We're talking cortisol here, folks. Like Houston, we have a problem levels. Why so serious? Because your dog is basically your emotional mirror. If you're jittery, rushing around like you misplaced a winning lottery ticket and barking orders like a drill sergeant, guess what? Your dog's anxiety dial goes to 11. It doesn't understand the concept of I'm late. It just sees chaos and thinks, oh no, the end is nigh. The poor pup's left home like it just watched a horror movie marathon. So what's the fix? Simple. Set that alarm a half hour earlier. Not for you. Don't get it twisted. Do it for your furry friend. Take a nice long walk together. Let your dog burn off some steam until it's good and tired, both physically and emotionally. A tired dog is a chill dog, my friends. Plus, this way, they'll remember you leaving as a positive moment, not some frantic episode of The Amazing Race. And let's face it, who wouldn't want a happy-go-lucky pooch waving them goodbye? Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you about a universal experience coming home to your dog. It's like being the headliner at a rock concert every single day. You walk through that door and boom, your dog's a furry tornado, jumping, barking, spinning, like it's auditioning for So You Think You Can Dance. And you're there, grinning like you just won the lottery, hugging them like it's Christmas morning. Cute, right? Well, not so fast. According to the fine folks at the Animal Behavior College, what you're really doing is setting up your dog for an emotional roller coaster, the likes of which would put any soap opera to shame. Every over-the-top welcome home is reinforcing a pattern of anxiety. That's right. Your dog becomes a little furry bundle of nerves, expecting a confetti cannon every time you return, and it's not doing anyone any favors. So what's the solution? Next time you come home, don't say a word, no eye contact, don't even pet him. Just channel your inner statue for 5 minutes until your dog realizes the circus isn't in town tonight. Once they chill out, then you can give them the calm, cool, collected love they deserve, like a doggy Zen master. Research shows this strategy can reduce separation anxiety by a whopping 87% in just 7 days. That's right, folks, a week. So give it a try, and you might just find yourself living with a much more serene four-legged friend. And hey, isn't that what we all want? Peace, love, and no more dramatic doggy meltdowns? Ladies and gentlemen, let me paint you a picture. You walk into your house, and it looks like a reality show when pets attack. There are shredded pillows everywhere, bits of paper that used to be your tax documents, and a puddle that's definitely not rainwater. And there's your dog, mastering the art of looking guilty, ears down like he's auditioning for the role of sad puppy in a Disney movie. Naturally, you're fuming. You point at the mess like a detective at a crime scene and exclaim, "What have you done?" But here's the kicker, folks. Your dog has no idea why you're mad. He's looking at you like, "Is this about that time I licked the cat?" According to dog whisperer Ian Dunbar, who, by the way, I'm convinced is part dog himself, because who else understands them so well? Pups can only connect punishment to something happening right then and there. If their mischief happened, let's say, a whole 5 seconds ago, that's ancient history in dog years. So what's going through your furry friend's mind? When the human comes home, they turn into the Incredible Hulk. Better find a spot under the bed until it's safe. This leads to a lovely little thing called anticipatory anxiety. Your dog's not plotting world domination. He's just confused and scared, thinking punishment is inevitable no matter what. And here's a plot twist. Most of these dog crimes, you chewing, peeing, howling like a wolf, aren't rebellious acts. They're symptoms of Fido's anxiety and loneliness. Poor guy just needs a hobby or a buddy. So what's the solution? Channel your inner Zen master. Clean up in silence like a stealthy ninja. No words, no glares, no passive-aggressive muttering about vet bills. Then face the real issue. Is Rover bored, frightened, or lonely? That's your answer. And remember, folks, a calm household is a happy household. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a pillow to sew and a dog to reassure. All right, folks, listen up. Let me tell you about a little mistake we all make. Let's call it error number 7, the sniff and neglect. Picture this. You're out walking your dog for what, 10 minutes? And there's your furry buddy, nose deep in a bush like it's some kind of canine social media. And what do? You're like, "Come on, Fido, move it. You've sniffed that thing 100 times. But here's the scoop, my friends. Your dog's not just taking a stroll. Oh no, this is her Netflix binge, her morning news, her entire social life wrapped up in one sniff, and you're yanking her away like she's in some kind of sniffing timeout. Imagine someone pulling you away from your favorite TV show right before the big reveal. Yeah, brutal. Science time. According to those brainy folks over at Lincoln University, a dog's brain processes smells 40 times better than ours. That's like comparing a supercomputer to, well, my brain trying to do math. So what's the result of all this no sniffing for you? Frustration, boredom, and, yep, even doggy neurosis. It's like depriving a teenager of Wi-Fi for 10 minutes. Pure chaos. Solution time. Here's what you do. Dedicate at least one walk a day to letting your pup sniff whatever she wants. Let her lead the way like she's reading the morning paper. 5 minutes of sniffing freedom feels like an hour's worth of playtime to them. Trust me, a dog that sniffed her way through the neighborhood comes home tired, chill, and happier than a dog with a fresh, squeaky toy. So let the good sniffs roll, folks, and watch your furry friend wag her way to happiness. You ever notice how your dog seemed to be auditioning for the lead role in Nervous Wreck, the musical? You're sitting there with the TV blasting, music cranked up, your neighbors doing DIY renovations that sound like they're constructing a rocket to Mars, and you're wondering, why is Fido so jumpy? Well, folks, turns out dogs hear 4 times better than we do. That background noise you're ignoring, for them it's like they're stuck in a heavy metal concert with a side of jackhammers. University of Colorado did a study, and guess what? All that noise is turning your dog into a furry stress ball. They're losing sleep, their brains are running on fumes, and all because they're living in a world louder than a teenager's ringtone. Here's the deal. Give your dog a chill zone, a corner away from the TV and the parade of guests. Maybe throw in some white noise if you live in a spot that's noisier than a construction site. And hey, don't force them to socialize with your loud cousin Joe. Sometimes they just need their version of a Netflix binge, peace and quiet. Remember, silence isn't just golden, it's dog care gold. Truly, silence is positively priceless. All right, folks, let's talk about a little issue I like to call error number 5, ignoring doggy stress signals. You know when you're petting your dog and she's licking her lips, yawning and looking away, and you're thinking, "Aw, how cute." But really, she's like, "Please, for the love of kibble, stop." Dogs can't talk, but they might as well be holding a neon sign flashing help. The question is, are you paying attention? So here's the lowdown on these stress signals. The classic look away, as if they're checking their imaginary watch. The lip lick, not to be confused with licking their chops. The dramatic yawn, not just bored with your Netflix choices. A tail that's tenser than a tightrope walker. Those little shivers, like a mini earthquake. Or trying to make a break for it like a furry Houdini. If you ignore these, your dog's stress level goes up and up until, boom, you got a furry little volcano that might erupt with aggression, a sprint towards freedom, or even a trip to the doggy doctor. The solution? Become a dog whisperer. Learn to read their language. If they're sending out stress signals during cuddle time or play, give them a break. Back off a bit, show some respect. This builds trust, and your dog will think, "Wow, they finally get me." And so, remember, folks, a happy dog is a stress-free dog. And a stress-free dog means fewer vet bills and more wagging tails. All right, folks, let's talk about mistake number 4 in the dog owner's guide to disaster. Hugging your dog. Oh, yeah, you think you're giving her love, saying, "She's my baby girl." Meanwhile, your pup is internally screaming, "Why is this human constricting my neck? Help." Here's a fun fact. Most dogs aren't exactly fans of cuddles. Nope, not even if you're a pro hugger. To a dog, being hugged feels like their movement is restricted, which in dog speak is code for alert. Alert. Threat detected. Researchers at the University of British Columbia dove into this and found that in 82% of photos where a person is hugging a dog, the pooch is showing signs of stress. We're talking ears pinned back, yawning like they just watched a documentary on paint drying, licking their lips like they've got peanut butter mouth, turning away like, "Can I get a little privacy?" And eyes so wide they're channeling their inner deer in headlights. Even if your dog seems to tolerate it, don't kid yourself. It's not a positive experience. Want to show some love? Try a chest rub, play a game, give a belly scratch. Just don't go all WWE wrestler on them. And here's a pro tip. Kids and dog hugs, not a match made in heaven. It's a top reason for bites. Remember, love is about respect, not treating your dog like a fluffy pillow. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about a common pet owner mistake I like to call, "I'm tired, go walk yourself." You come home from work, eyes half closed, arms slung like a rag doll, and what do? You toss the ball a couple of times or just let your dog loose in the backyard. You think that's enough, right? Like, okay, Fido, enjoy your solo adventure while I become one with this couch. But here's the thing. Your dog has been waiting all day for you to show up, just itching to sniff every leaf. chase imaginary ninjas, and basically solve the mysteries of the universe with you. Dogs are social creatures, people. Telling your dog to go play in the yard is like telling a kid, hey, stare at this wall and find your own fun. Without a proper walk, that fluffy bundle of joy turns into a nervous wreck. A one-dog demolition team specializing in furniture destruction and frayed human nerves. So here's the deal. Carve out 30 to 60 minutes of your day for some quality dog time. I'm not talking about out, pee, and back inside. No. We're talking full-on sniffing, playing, and bonding time. It's the foundation of a well-adjusted canine psyche, and honestly, it might save your favorite pair of shoes from a gnarly fate. All right, folks, let me tell you about mistake number 2 in the grand saga of dog ownership. Expecting Fido to always obey. Seriously, some people think their dog should be more obedient than a Roomba on a freshly vacuumed carpet. Picture this. You're yelling, sit. I said, sit. And meanwhile, your dog is looking at you like a deer caught in headlights. She's confused, she's tired, maybe she's just having a rough day. But you're expecting the poor thing to be a canine version of Alexa, ready to respond at the drop of a hat. Spoiler alert, dogs don't come with a reset button, folks. Dogs have off days just like us humans. They might feel unwell, stressed, or just plain scared. I mean, who doesn't want to hide when someone starts yelling, right? If you crank up the volume, your dog won't learn obedience. She'll just learn that you're the scary dude with the treats. So what's the plan? Use positive reinforcement, people. Think of it like bribing a toddler with candy, but fuzzier. Keep commands short, sweet, and definitely not screamy. And let your dog mess up sometimes. It's like letting your kid color outside the lines. Respect and conversation, that's how you get a real connection. Remember, the only thing that should be barking orders is your TV. All right, folks, let me tell you about the most commonly made mistake when you decide to bring a dog into your life. Picture this. You get a dog, and suddenly you want it to be the Dalai Lama of canines. You want it to be silent as a mime, a walking feather, never pulling the leash, a mannequin, never barking, a Zen master, never chewing, braver than a lion, a couch potato, never running, a mime again, never whining, an introvert, never seeking attention, practically invisible, never in your way. At this point, you've got to ask yourself, do you want a dog or a mobile phone on silent mode? Listen, a dog is a living, breathing bundle of fur, not a piece of furniture with a tail. They have instincts, emotions, fears, and desires. A dog can be scared, angry, tired, demanding, or downright goofy. If you expect your dog to behave like a well-programmed robot and not like, a dog, you're going to give it a complex. So here's the solution, folks. Let the dog be a dog. Learn to understand, not dominate. And forget the word should when it comes to your dog. Instead, ask yourself, what does Spot want? So, if you love your dog, and I mean really love that furball, don't just stare at them like they're a living emoji. Take notes. Seriously, if you find this helpful, don't be shy. Give me a thumbs up. It's like a treat for the algorithm. And it helps the important stuff get noticed. And hey, share this with your dog-owning buddies. The ones who could use a little pet therapy themselves. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of my deep dives into doggy dilemmas. Now here's the kicker. What was the most surprising mistake for you? Or maybe you've done some of these yourself and had a light bulb moment. Drop me a comment below. Let's get a conversation going. I read everything, even the ones asking if my dog's writing this.